Here we go, everybody. A new start, and we continue to study about the cell. We've been learning a lot about the cell. Are you ready for the test? You're not ready, are you? But today we're going to be looking at chromosomes. The chromosomes, we're going to overview chromosomes, and then we're going to be looking at later on, not today though, but later on in this lesson, next time I come up here, we're looking at cellular reproduction. And this alone, cellular reproduction, or better known as cell division, or mitosis or meiosis, it confirms again in your mind where you have no doubt that God is real. Because it is funny, actually. It actually is funny. You know, you came about by two rocks that collided and that's kind of funny, isn't it? That is hilarious. As a matter of fact, when I can imagine when one of the demons came to Satan and said, you know what? I got a grand idea. Let's just tell everybody that God don't exist. How are you going to do that? I mean, there's so much evidence there, sir. I mean, there's evidence everywhere. He is impossible. They see all these things of God everywhere, all the creation, impossible. You just tell them they hit two things collided, and then it just came out of nowhere, and then things just start to happen. Man, they won't believe that. They ain't that stupid. But over time, I guess we just got dumber and dumber, and we actually believe it. But this alone would just show you. I remember I was in biology class years ago, and when the teacher was talking about cell division, it hit me. I said, only God can do that. That is impossible for man to do, impossible for it just to happen. Only God. So as you study more about the cell, you will see God's handiwork. But today, again, we're going to be looking at chromosome. Let's look at chromosome. The word chromosome. The word chromosome comes from the Greek, means chroma. Chroma means color. Chroma, color. Soma is body. So it's colored body. That's what it is. It's a colored body. So why do they call it colored body? Well, the reason why they can call it colored body, because when they put dye on the chromosome, is actually easy to see. It is very dyeable, so you can actually see it itself. So it's when it is strongly stained by particular dyes itself. So that's why they call it chroma, meaning color, some, body. So it's a colored body. Now, chromosomes, where do you find chromosomes? Of course, chromosomes is in the nucleus of your cell. A chromosome is found in the cell's organized structure of DNA and protein. So what makes up a chromosome is what, everybody? DNA and protein. And that protein, we'll see a picture of it in a little bit, is known as histones. You'll see it. So a single piece of coiled DNA, that's what it is. It's coiled DNA. We looked at DNA. We talked about the double helix. We talked about the different pairs, the nucleotides, and all those things that make it up. And by the way, here's a test question. What are the chemical bases of DNA? The chemical base. Come on, church. I know you're thinking, church is science too, right? Science class, right? Because we learned about the creator. So here it is. So what is the chemical bases found in DNA? The 4 chemical base. You get an automatic A. What's that? At GC. There you go. That's all you got to say. A, adenosine, thymine. G, guanine, and cytosine. So at GC. If you just remember AT, GC. Because remember the chemical bases that go together. Only A can go with T, and only G can go with C. All right, on that double helix. That's the rings on the ladder. So that's what the chromosomes are made of. Your DNA is literally wound up into a tight chromosome. It's a single piece of coiled DNA containing your genes, now your eye color, your skin color, all that's there, regulatory elements and other nucleotide sequences. The DNA is coiled around protein known as histones. And here it is. There's a picture of it right here. So here is your cell. Here's a cell. And here is the nucleus. And inside that nucleus, you have what is known as, it looks like kind of yarn, right? It looks like a yarn, 2 bundles of yarn. And it's actually tightly wound together. These are your chromosomes. This is a chromosome right here. This is one A chromosome. And inside that chromosome, if we look around, you see it's all these little yarn pieces, which is actually DNA, is wrapped around these little discs here. You know what those discs are? Histones, that's the protein. That wraps it around, that keeps it nice and tight. Histones, and here it is, and it's just showing you more details. You see the double helix, you see the chemical bases right here. These are the rings of the ladder. That's the A, T, and a GC right there, and it's unwound together. That's your DNA. All right, you got that. All right, here we go. So there's two types of cell. There's a somatic cell. Remember the word soma means what? Body. So is a somatic cells, I'm going to test you on that, a somatic cells, a cell other than egg or sperm. In other words, that's all the cells in your body, excluding the cells that makes up your egg and your sperm. So there's normally there's normally has 2 copies of 23 different chromosomes. Did you know that? You have 23 chromosomes. So you have all together is 46. So in other words, there's 23 pairs. But altogether is 46. One from your mama and one from your daddy. There it is, right there. We'll see that in a little bit. So that's known as your somatic cells. And these chromosomes, different sizes and shapes and sets of genes included, that's on it. Then your other cells, which are known as your sex cells or your reproductive cells, is gamete. So you have somatic cells, is mainly all your cells of your body, and your gamete cells. That includes the cells that's actually in the egg cell of a female, production, the ovaries of a female, and the sperm. And the reason why you need to know these basic things is because when we talk about mitosis is mainly dealing with cell division that has to do with somatic cells or soma cells. That's your basic normal cells. That's known as your mitosis. But when it comes to meiosis, that has to do with these things right here, how a woman's egg is actually produced. It will blow your mind. How a man's sperm is actually produced. It'll blow your mind, I'm telling you. That's known as meiosis. So there's 2 types of chromosomes. So we understand the 2 types of cells. Now look at the 2 types of chromosomes. It's basically autosomes. You have autosomes that contain your genetic heredity, like your heredity. That's like your eye color, your hair color, your facial features, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, there's your sex chromosomes. And somebody keeps telling me the Bible does not talk about sex. The Bible doesn't talk about male and female. And I said, wait a minute. The Bible does determine, it tells us clearly if you're going to be male or female. Because we got this homosexual movement trying to tell me that a person's born just confused. Well, the Bible makes it clear because God made it this way. There's a man and there's a female. There's no in between. So a man is God's gift to be a man. A woman is God's gift to be a woman. And we should say, thank you, Lord, for that gift. Praise God. And he puts it in there and it says chromosomes. There's no in between. And let's look at this a little bit. So the human cells have how many pairs, everybody? 23 autosomes. 23 pairs, large, linear. As you can see here, some examples of what it looks like. Cells, linear, nuclear chromosomes. 22 pairs are actually autosomes. 22 of them. 22 are autosomes. But that last pair is your sex chromosome. That is known as, that's the last pair right there. It would determine if you're male or female. God set it up. Right there, everybody. That last pair. Everybody else, we're all looking alike. Everything's there. Not looking alike, but everything seems fine. Everything is pretty similar per se. We all got eyes. We all got lips. We all got mouths. But there's something that changes things right here. They make us totally different. A man and a female. Let's look at this just real quick. So haploid versus diploid. Haploid cells are used to describe when a cell only has one set of chromosomes. That's like 23 chromosomes, all right? And gametes are haploid. That's just one chromosome. But when it actually has a pair, when they come together as pairs, like the eye color of your mama, the eye color of your daddy, they come together as pairs. It's known as diploid. See, one's from your mama, one's from your daddy. Your skin color, one's from your mama, one's from your daddy. So when one from your mama and a daddy come together, that's called as diploid. You got that? All right. That's a total of 46 chromosomes altogether. 26 pairs, 23 pairs, 26, 46 chromosomes altogether. So we're going to end on this right today. So at least you can go home and you know for yourself who determines if the child's, we know God in the end, of course. But in terms of who determines if a male is going to be a male or a female? Is it the woman? Does a woman determine it, or does a man determine it? There it is. The man determines it. Why do we know this? Well, in a man, in that 23rd chromosome, that 23rd pair chromosome, the man in his sperm, he will have either the X, which means female, and the Y, which means what? Male. See, the woman in the egg only has the X chromosome. That's it. The man has either, in his sperm, he has either a X or a Y. And so if you look at this little graph here, this is the man, XY, XY. See, this is the woman. The woman is just XX. That's it. She can't XY it. That's it. A man, he's XY. So because he's XY, because in his sex chromosome he has an X or a Y, because of that, if an X comes down, it's actually in his sperm itself, and it comes meet with the woman's female egg, it's going to be a what? A female. That's going to be the baby. The baby will come out of a female. Wah! And X come together is a female. Or if the Y comes down, mixed with the X, XY is a what, everybody? It says right there. See, blue right there. It's going to be a what? A male. That is amazing. It is. Don't you know there's over 1 million, literally 1 million or more opportunities to be somebody. It could have been somebody else. It wouldn't have been you. You wouldn't even exist. You wouldn't even be here. I mean, literally. Out of the millions of sperm that comes out, and only one actually germinates, it could have been any. That's why I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you are special, that we are special. Because God literally, he formed us in his womb, and you in the womb of your mother. It's amazing. Praise the Lord. So anyway, that's why we show these things, so we can see, understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So next time we'll be looking at what's a chromatin. What's a chromatin? What is all about? And then we get into cell division, and then you get all excited, and then you'll study this some more, and you see, because see, we don't study this just to get an A or a B so I can go get a job somewhere. We study this because I want to know that God is real, and I want to know how to take care of the body that God has given me.